All right, we're here in round one of the Penny Dreadful tournament, Saturday. Playing against Briar Moss, we're playing Rude Slide. Briar Moss is one of the winningest players. He's recently been running some combo decks, infinite combos, that I would really actually like this Forsake the Worldly for. And I do kind of have two, like if I get to one more land, I have three cards that get me forward. I'm going second, and this hand is fire. If I draw, even if I miss one land drop, this hand's still, I think, worth playing. Though it is a one land hand. I think the hand's so strong. If I ever get a land, which I've got a, I'm gonna take a bad thing here and keep it. See, Lonely Sandbar. Okay, so could still be on the same thing. I don't know if you meant to play something else and actually cycle that. I don't know if you saw very briefly there was a pay cost. All right, come on, land. On the other hand, if I don't draw land, it's a good learning lesson for everybody. Don't keep one land hands. So if you use on the Infinite Combos deck, the deck works by, has a couple of ways of winning. It can World Gorge you out in traditional ways. Let's see what we got here. Oh no, Cloudskate. Okay, so he's on something different. That is fine. I'll discard an Eternal Dragon here. We can always go up to the second dragon. Signet. Yeah, so this looks like it may be some variant of the Esper Blink builds that we've been seeing, which is actually a kind of tough matchup for this. I don't really want to discard this Planar Outburst. This mono is going to be a while before it comes out, so let's get rid of that. Still not out of it. Again, if we get a land, these Blink decks are pretty slow. So I would like to hit a land before next turn, so that we're not going crazy discarding cards. I also don't mind the fact that, oh, well, that's actually probably game. We can't deal with infinitely blinking my lands since I'm stuck on lands. Let's go and concede this game. It's fine. We know what he's on. He doesn't actually really know too much about what we're doing here, since it's kind of combo oriented. That is fine. Let's see. So these Forsake the Worldlies don't really hit anything besides the Signets, which I'm not like super excited about hitting. I am kind of afraid of Lobotomy out of a list like this. So I'm gonna bring in these two Gilded Lights. They can protect Astral Slide, or more importantly, actually, the Rude Awakening. Light of Day doesn't really do anything. Autumn's Veil could be useful depending on what kind of counters he's playing. A lot of the lists I've seen recently don't actually play anything that can counter the spells that we really care about. That being said, it may be something included a one of. Let's try one Autumn's Veil, just in case he has something. We at least, if we see an early counter, we can assume that he has more, and then hold up hold up for Autumn's Veil if we're, if we have the luxury of doing so. Otherwise, we can kind of learn. Okay. there's not a lot going on here, but these blink decks aren't super quick, as I was saying. We do have a Gilded Light if he ever lobotomies us. We have Eternal Dragon to start getting us going, which we can, worst case, bring back and start cycling more to just get us up to lands. These decks kill really slowly. The blink decks, they're meant to be kind of value decks that they're really good against other creature-based decks and kind of grinding them out. But they're not going to combo you very quickly. Second dragon, okay. Now, I took out most of the Forsake the Worldies. I think I took all but one of them out. I probably should have actually replaced the one remaining one with a actually, what do I got here? A Dissenter's Deliverance, but I did not. I don't. I really don't like when he gets his turn 2 Signet, just because it ramps him to getting bounce spells a lot quicker, which is kind of problematic. But at the same time, I don't think it's worth trying to play Forsake the Worldly. I wouldn't want to lose a card to try to get rid of one of these Signets. Boy, does he have a lot of Signets. Animate Dead on my Eternal Dragon? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's a 5-turn clock on us, but we do have a planar outburst when we need it. See what he does here. Attack us for 4, that's fine. Curious to see if he... So the Animate Dead's a really interesting choice, given that we could always just Astral Slide, cycle it back. I'm not sure if he's thinking about that. I certainly think it's something that he should be thinking about. This could be a Riftwing Cloudskate to try to keep us off lands. No, Cloud Blazer. I'm gonna go and cycle this. If I draw a slide, I would have preferred to have that, but you know, I'd rather go ahead and get my my Eternal Dragon back, which will slow him down a lot. It's slightly risky getting rid of this Gilded Light, but I think I have to in order to not take too much damage. If I am not cycling the Gilded Light, I can't, like, I have to assume that he would try to lobotomy post-combat, which means I have to take 6 damage. And I'd rather just get a little bit more stable first. Okay. That reads like a lot of time to me. I'll go ahead and bring back this Eternal Dragon. I especially don't want to run into the case where, like, I definitely won't be able to do anything on this turn, as I don't have any 1-mana cyclers in my deck right now. But I wouldn't want to miss on a cycle land and then have him Animate Dead it, and then me just be in this awkward situation. I really don't think that he would do that, just because it's really risky to Animate Dead my Eternal Dragon when I have Astral Slide out. But he could also end up having something like what do you call it? Enchantment Destruction. So I can't rely like totally on being able to keep this Astral Slide out. I think I blocked the red cap here. It lets a planar outburst be a little better. It does mean that I take 1 more damage, but that's okay. I'd rather get this planar outburst to potentially remove this red cap permanently. He also may try to skin render me or red cap the dragon to kill it. Again, I'm fine with that since it means that less damage coming to me. Let's see what he does here though. Okay. I'll probably attack him on my turn with this Eternal Dragon if he doesn't play anything to disrupt this. Chase's Chase? Court Hussar. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'll attack and bring him to 17. That means a Rude Awakening is closer to lethal. 2, 4, 6. So I can afford to Tangle, Cycle, which means I could get rid of 2 potential flying or 2 blockers that he plays out. I think that's pretty decent. So I'll go ahead and go in here. The nice thing about this deck, especially when people haven't seen it before, is that the Rude Awakening, people just don't expect 1-turn kills from coming out of green-white. 17 feels like it should be a safe life total, and it is not. It is not that safe. I'll go ahead and Tangle here. I don't want to risk any like super like kind of moderate life total. The red cap can always come in and deal a lot of damage. Can easily deal 6 or something over a couple turns, especially if he has more red caps. So I want to protect against that. I always have the planar outburst if he overcommits too much, and again I may just win next turn depending on what he does here. Man War, okay. I will go ahead and cycle my own Eternal Dragon to get it to move my dragon to so that he has to Man War something else. Did I miscount my cards earlier? I could have sworn that I could cycle. No, I could. Yeah, I counted right. I thought it was 2 cycles and a tangle. That's right. What are you gonna bounce? Red cap. Okay. So if he red caps me here, on end of turn, I can cycle. How much mana do I have? 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 14. Yeah, so he has 1 mana, which doesn't really do anything in this format. So if I get rid of 1 blocker right now, I can do 14 damage, minus 2, minus 4, 10 damage. It's not enough yet. So I will go ahead and cycle Desert of the True though to get rid of this Man War. What's the order of things? If I end up cycling my dragon, I choose the order that they come back. So yeah, okay. Oh, that was a mistake. Whatever, that's fine. I won't do that. Hard to talk and record. That's fine. I got another Tangle here, which is good. And a Monitor. Easily threatening lethal next turn. We have 8, kind of 9 mana if we use the Monitor as one of them. So between 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with Tangle. If we drew into another Monitor, we could Monitor, Tangle. Definitely gonna Tangle here again. So Tangle's one of the things I like about Tangle in Astral Slide is that they're kind of forced to attack out with Astral Slide. Otherwise, if they only attack with one, I can just bounce it. That's less true against these Esper Blink decks, since if he attacks with the red cap, it presents a a 2 damage either way kind of situation. But it is still somewhat true, which makes Tangle more powerful when the Astral Slides out. Is this going to be Angel? This is scary. 7 mana. I don't know what he does with 7 mana, but I don't want to see it. Stroke of Genius. No. Tap 1 too many, and it's actually Angel. Oh, Sphinx of Lost Trees. Okay, yeah. Has he played a land yet? If not, he only has. He can't. Oh, right there. Oof. Play something. Play something. Damn. Well, I'll go ahead and cycle the Monitor, and I will flash this Sphinx of Lost Trees. He is threatening a counterspell now, which is scary. But again, there's not a ton of counters, and I don't know what he would really be bringing in. Usually the most common counter that I'd expect to see is soul monitor or soul manipulation. So like if he's trying to counter an Eternal Dragon or something, and if he does that, that's I mean, it does nothing against Rude Awakening, so that's good. I also have a lot of control over this game, so I have the option of not playing Rude Awakening and just trying to win without, which makes it so that he's much less likely to sideboard appropriately. In terms of winning the overall game, the overall match, it's like a fairly viable thing to attempt. However, I think I just go for it. So if he has lobotomies in the sideboard, I fully expect him to bring them in now, as well as, better counterspell kind of things. As we said, this Dissenters is just better than the Forsake the World be here. I could consider bringing in more Autumn's Veils here, since it's just if he has counters, he's more likely to have them now. If I did, I would bring it in for Mingara. But I mean, Megara dies to a lot of things that he can't even really afford to take out, which does make me want to, I can go down to 3. Um, might as well go up to 2 Veils, even if they're useless. The Megara can also easily be useless by just dying to not being able to get online. So I'll go with that. As I was saying that last game, I could have attempted to not win with Rude Awakening, and I was in a pretty decent position to actually do that. But if he ended up getting a lobotomy or something, it would make things a lot tougher for me. Planar Outburst should provide me with more damage, but I think I need to win the honest way. It's a little bit safer, and if I'm going to do well in this tournament, I need to be able to do it with people knowing what my deck is anyway. But that was an option. And of course, it also shows that even if he, does hit me with lobotomy, that this deck is capable of beating this deck without the Rude Awakenings. Just taking some time to sideboard here. The furnaces, by the way, do something against the Animate Dead, but the decks usually don't run that many Animate Dead, so I'm just not super worried about it. The card that gives me the most trouble in this matchup is definitely Murderous Redcap. The 2-drop Blinky Dude is also pretty good. Because it helps him protect against Planar Outburst. Signet or Blinky Dude? Signet, okay. If I drew a Descentu's Deliverance here, I think I would get rid of that. Alas, I did not draw it. What are the chances? Only 1 out of 52, right? A lot of observers in here. A lot of Signets in this deck. I guess in a lot of matchups, like, he has so many 4 and 5 drops that he needs to ramp out. Yeah, that's fine. That's also a good argument for me bringing in Forsake the Worldly. But again, I can win without that. The question here is whether or not I Eternal Dragon now and let him furnace it, or if I Tusker on his end step, and then just make his overall line a little bit more awkward. I think I can, like, maybe keep this dragon for longer, so I'll try to do that. Like, if I can get 2 dragons in my bin, I mean, he can always respawn with Furnace, but if I get him to get rid of the Furnace, then that's sweet. 2 cards in his hand. I think he kept this hand thinking that it's great versus Slide. He's not totally off base, but it's really the... I get Force here first, just because I have so many ways to get planes. That's fine. Though that is reduced. Autumn's Veil is a great draw. I will definitely discard the Force here since I have so many ways to get lands. Basically, I have 7 lands in hand. Love to get a monitor. I want to ramp a little bit. Chesky's awkward without drawing any what do you call it? Cards to play. um, just because it makes me discard to hand size. But I think I still try to do that. Worst case, I can so I'll go ahead and get rid of this Seal of Cleansing. It's fine. I don't ever need to recur that, though I may try to recur this next one just to force him to spend. Drawn some cards, eh? The bottom would be really bad here. Oof, lobotomy. I can feel it. Oh, Treasure Truth. Okay. Now I could cycle the dragon and bring it back, but I'm just dealing with hand size. And really, I want to have mana up to, and I want to draw actual cards to potentially get Gilded Light or Gleam of Resistance. I don't actually have. I'm still gonna have to discard the hand size unless I draw another slide. But less force. Drawing cards is just more important for me right now. Do I have lethal yet? Oh man, if I get so I pretty much have lethal here, and Autumn's Veil helps out with that a lot. But I can't do it quite yet. I need one more mana before I can actually Root Awakening naturally. I'll discard this Tangle though. Actually, maybe I'm short on lethal because of his life gain. Aw. The bottom is still very bad. Cloud Blazer fine. I may Planar Outburst and try to attack for. Well, actually, I can't attack here with Planar Outburst yet, but. So I may make it a natural Planar Outburst. Sure. I am going to go and cycle this just because... Oh, actually, that was the wrong move. Right now I'm looking at 24 damage. I don't like that animate dead can bring back that Cloud Blazer, puts them further out. Another Cloud Blazer. Oh, Magister Worth, yeah. Sure. Lobotomy. Okay. I think I will outburst and attack here. It's at 23. Which means that Rude Awakening Gleam is lethal. That's fine. As long as he doesn't do a second one. Though we are no longer lethal actually because of the blocker. 4, 8, 24 damage. So hoping really hard not to get lobotomied here. If he doesn't lobotomy us, we're in a pretty good spot. We get an extra land here, so we'll be at 9, 10, 30 damage that we're threatening. Autumn's Veil stops 1 counter. If I draw a Gilded Light, I'll continue to try to dig for a second Autumn's Veil, but if I don't, I may just go for lethal here. He could still have a counter. It's less likely. That's a good sign. We could also have a fog, which would be kind of odd. Really don't expect that in these builds, but it's totally possible. So you bounce 2 potentially with like a double flicker. D6-9. 21 damage, right? Yeah. What does Omphale say? Can be true with blue black spell, so I can't save Mingara from Murderous Redcap. So Redcap does keep him alive, assuming that he Redcaps the Mingara. 27 cards in deck, still have 3 more Rude Awakenings left. Cloud Blazer, okay. That doesn't save him yet. Outburst is still lethal. Here's Redcap. Nevermaker. Evoked on Mingara. Yeah, okay. Outburst still lethal though. Redcap saves him. Or another Outburst. Okay. I think I do still Outburst here though, and do Outburst here still and force him to block with the red cap. That way I can get rid of that permanently. Plus I still have my Outburst that he has to handle, and he only has 4 cards in hand. I've got 10 lands in play. This costs 8, which means I can afford to monitor and shuffle away that, what's it called, which I actually don't want right now. Do I have untapped lands left? Oh, I don't feel confident about that. Okay, I'll draw it. So this should kill the red cap, puts me at 11, and I have a 4/4. He has 4 cards in hand. Things that I'm worried about here. Lobotomy's not too bad. Things like Mana War and stuff. I think there's plenty of things that save him. Any blocker saves him. But some things save him a little better. Magister of Worth does. Mana War. Cloud Skate. Yeah, there's Lobotomy, that's fine. So the question here is whether or not I cast Autumn's Veil. Because if he takes Autumn's Veil, it means that it's he can have a counter. But if he has a counter, yeah, I think I make him take Monitor. Yeah. Of course, I'm gonna be upset if I. No, I probably should have monitored there. I'm gonna be upset if I draw on top lane, because that means that I should have monitored earlier. He's not doing anything here though, so. Well. Alright. I think that's game. Match 1. Don't keep one lane hands.